History is a story, written by the victors and pieced together from the fragments they left behind. We're told that civilization began in the Fertile Crescent, that the first great monuments were built in Egypt and Sumeria. But what if that story is wrong? What if the greatest structures of the ancient world aren't in a desert, but hidden in plain sight, deep in the heart of Europe? In the quiet hills of Bosnia, a discovery was made that threatens to shatter our entire understanding of the past. A series of massive, pyramid-shaped hills that, if proven real, are older, taller, and more mysterious than anything we've ever known. Mainstream science calls it a hoax. Its believers call it the greatest discovery in human history. Tonight, we're not just looking at hills. We're digging into a puzzle that could rewrite everything. This is the mystery of the Bosnian pyramids. Our story begins in 2005. The place, Visoko, a small town in Bosnia and Herzegovina, still healing from the scars of war. It was here that Dr. Samir Osmanagic, a Bosnian-American businessman and amateur archaeologist, looked at a local landmark known as Visočica Hill and saw something no one else had. Locals had seen it their entire lives, just a hill. But Osmanagic saw impossible geometry. 4 triangular faces, astonishingly straight sides, and a perfect orientation to the cardinal points. To him, this wasn't nature. This was design. Instead of quietly investigating, Osmanagic went public, and his claims were explosive. This wasn't just a pyramid. It was the Pyramid of the Sun, the largest and oldest on Earth. He declared it stood over 220 meters tall, dwarfing the Great Pyramid of Giza. And its age? A staggering 30,000 years old, predating the first known civilizations by an almost unimaginable margin. And it wasn't alone. Osmanagic identified a complex of 5 structures: the Pyramid of the Sun, the Moon, the Dragon, Love, and the Temple of Mother Earth, all arranged in a precise geometric layout. The world was captivated. Bosnia, a nation known for conflict, was suddenly the epicenter of a historical mystery. Tourists, researchers, and media outlets flocked to Visoko. Osmanagic established the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun Foundation, and the quiet hills were transformed into a sprawling excavation site. But just as quickly, the scientific community pushed back, hard. In 2006, the European Association of Archaeologists issued a declaration calling the project a cruel hoax on an unsuspecting public, and warned that the excavations could be destroying legitimate medieval archaeological sites. Geologists argued that the hills are natural formations called flatirons, common geological features created by tectonic uplift and erosion. What looked like man-made blocks, they said, were just the natural fracturing of sedimentary rock. The battle lines were drawn. On one side, a global scientific consensus. On the other, a charismatic leader with a revolutionary theory and a growing army of believers. So, what is the evidence? What have they actually found beneath Bosnia's soil? Let's examine the claims. If the Pyramid of the Sun is man-made, it's a feat of engineering that shouldn't be possible. Supporters point to satellite and LIDAR imagery, revealing stark geometric precision. They argue its 4 faces are aligned to true north, with an accuracy even greater than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Then there's the material evidence. Osmanagic's team claims to have unearthed large, rectangular blocks of conglomerate. They sent samples for analysis, reporting that it was an ancient, man-made concrete, superior in quality and water resistance to modern Roman concrete. Archaeologists counter that these blocks are naturally occurring breccia and conglomerate, a type of sedimentary rock common in the area. They argue that seeing perfectly cut blocks is a form of pareidolia, our brain's tendency to see patterns in random data. But the mystery doesn't end on the surface. To find the most compelling and controversial part of this story, we have to go underground. Beneath the valley lies a sprawling network of tunnels known as the Ravne Labyrinth. Osmanagic claims these are not old mines or natural caves, but an ancient, man-made passageway connected to the pyramids. For years, volunteers have been clearing out dirt and debris, revealing a web of passages that stretch for hundreds, perhaps thousands of meters. Inside, the air is strangely fresh. Oxygen levels remain high, even deep within the earth, suggesting a sophisticated ventilation system. And scattered throughout the tunnels are large, sculpted ceramic pieces they call megaliths, weighing several tons each. But it's here that the story takes a turn from archaeology into the realm of the extraordinary. The Foundation claims to have detected strange energy phenomena. A persistent ultrasound frequency of 28 kilohertz emanates through the tunnels. A frequency, they claim, is beneficial for healing. They also report unusually high concentrations of negative ions, similar to those found near waterfalls, which are associated with well-being. The most fantastic claim of all? An electromagnetic beam, 4.5 meters wide, and pulsing at that same 28 kilohertz frequency, allegedly shoots from the apex of the Pyramid of the Sun. Mainstream science has not verified any of these energy readings. Critics dismiss them as faulty equipment, misinterpretation of data, or pure fabrication. Yet, these claims have turned Visoko into an unlikely spiritual mecca. Every year, tens of thousands of people journey here, not as archaeologists, but as pilgrims. They come seeking healing from chronic pain, anxiety, and a host of other ailments. Meditation chambers have been set up inside the tunnels, where visitors lie for hours, hoping to absorb the healing energy. This has created a thriving local economy built on pyramid tourism. For believers, it's proof that science is only just beginning to understand the ancient technologies at play. For skeptics, it's proof of the power of the placebo effect, wrapped in a clever marketing scheme. So, we are left with two conflicting realities. The scientific consensus is clear. The Bosnian pyramids are natural hills. The evidence for a lost civilization, tools, pottery, inscriptions, organic remains from a settlement, is completely absent. Real archaeological sites are layered with the debris of life. Here, there is only geology. They argue that carbon dating organic material found in the tunnels is meaningless. You can date an ancient leaf found in a modern tunnel, but that doesn't make the tunnel ancient. On the other hand, the believers ask, how do you explain so many anomalies in one place? The perfect geometry, the cardinal alignment, the extensive tunnel network, the strange materials, and the consistent energy readings. Can all of that truly be a coincidence? They argue that the absence of artifacts is the point. Perhaps this was a civilization so ancient, so different from our own, that it left behind nothing but its colossal energy-harnessing structures. Let's entertain the possibility for a moment. What if it's real? If a civilization 30,000 years ago could build structures larger than the pyramids of Giza, it would mean that an advanced human culture existed during the last ice age. It would mean that a chapter, or perhaps the entire first volume of our history, has been lost. It would force us to question the very timeline of human development. Discoveries like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, a complex temple site dating back over 11,000 years, have already pushed back the dawn of civilization. Could the Bosnian pyramids represent an even older, more profound leap in our past? This is why the debate is so fierce. It's not just about rocks and hills. It's about our fundamental story of who we are. Radical ideas demand an overwhelming burden of proof, and for the scientific community, the Bosnian pyramids haven't come close to meeting it.
So what is the truth buried in the hills of Visoko? Are they natural wonders that have ignited a powerful modern myth? Or are they the silent, sleeping giants of a civilization we have long forgotten? Perhaps the real legacy of the Bosnian pyramids isn't about proving a theory right or wrong. It's about the way this mystery has transformed a town, inspired a global community, and forced us all to look at the world around us with a greater sense of wonder. It's a powerful reminder that there are still great questions waiting to be answered. Whether you see a hill shaped by eons of natural forces or a monument built by human hands long ago, one thing is certain. This story is far from over. It invites us to keep digging, to keep questioning, and to never stop exploring the edges of our known world. Because sometimes, the most important discoveries aren't answers, but better questions.